everybody, and welcome to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. The comments are important. I'm bringing Toby back on. You might remember him as the kid that was tortured while he was in prison in Alaska. Been through a lot of stuff. You know, people have requested that, we bring him back, so we're back. Toby, what's up, man? How you feeling today?
Feeling all right, man. Feeling all right.
So, we had talked before and we did an interview and you talked about prison in Alaska. You've been in different places and, you talked about being tortured in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some people, man, they asked me to bring you back on. They want to hear more about, your experiences over there and things that you went through. And, people were happy that you're out, you're doing the right thing. You're successful, you're working. And how long you been free right now, Toby?
Since October 20th, 2019.
How's it feel to be free, man?
Feels really good. I've never felt this way ever in my entire life. I mean, because what I used to call free, just because I wasn't incarcerated, even on the streets, I wasn't free. I was still in bondage to the streets and to the drugs and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? So, and I finally got just so fucking done with it all that now I really feel free from it, but it's like, it's always lurking, you know what I mean? It's always still a part of you.
Do you mean, is it lurking where you're tempted at times to, go back to a life of crime or go back to, getting high, or what do you mean by lurking?
No, I'm saying that, like, the only part that is sometimes tempting is the fast money. Everything else isn't. What I'm talking about mostly is, it's like the streets try to pull you back. I could just be minding my own business at the gas station, and somebody wants to, get smart or something, or, do something that I consider as fucking disrespectful, where it makes me feel like going back to the old me and smacking the shit out of them or doing something like that right there in front of the cashier, like I used to. And, I mean, shit like that. It's just, my heart's in the right place. My actions are in the right place. But it seems like it's just lurking, man. It's on your ass always, man. It's always like trying to pull you back. But it's hard. That one's a bit hard to explain.
Well, let me tell you this. I understand what you're saying because I go through it every day too. Do you think, man, being in prison makes us think that the people out here are more disrespectful than they really are? Do we just assume that they're disrespectful?
Yeah, I have thought about that a lot, and I think they are to a point, but at the same time too, they're not, on the inside, it's like respect is so important, and the things out here that are nothing, like getting in somebody's personal space or, coughing without covering your mouth or anything like that, it's not a big deal out here. But on the inside, it's like there's no toleration for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you brought prison with you to the street, right?
Yeah. I mean, it just, without even thinking about it. I mean, I can remember, when I got out after doing that 10-year sentence in Pennsylvania, and I still remember the way it made me feel. But the first place I went to eat was at some all-you-can-eat little buffet thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm eating my first plate, right? And the lady comes and reaches over my area, the waitress or whatever she was, to get the empty plate. I didn't know that's what they do. Take your empty plate and you go get a new one. And instinctively, without thinking, I grabbed her by her and drew back on her and put her on a table of a family eating, and snapped out of it. I'm like, holy shit, man. I felt like a fucking monster. I just left. I was like, man, I give her $100 bill. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I can't even explain to you what just happened.
It's crazy, man. So, hey, let's talk a little bit about, prison, some of the things that you've experienced, some of the things that you've seen. What do you think, in your perspective, was one of the worst things you've ever seen while you were in prison?
The worst thing would probably be when these dudes put this kitchen steward in the fucking oven and cooked them.
A kitchen steward, was that a prisoner or a civilian?
No, no, fucking civilian.
They
He
put
was
this.
a guard, but I mean, but like not a CO, but one of the COs that is just works in the kitchen. You know what I mean? And he was, you know, punking people and trying to, you know, treat them like slaves and all that shit. And I'll never forget his screams, man, ever.
Did they kill him or did he live? What?
No, no, he didn't live. No.
Are you serious, man?
Yeah.
Wow, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm shocked. I've never heard nothing like that, man. I'm just.
One of those big industrial fucking ovens that they make big amounts of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a big ass fucking prison. And they
Yeah.
fed us a lot there.
Where was this
But
at? Pennsylvania, Alaska,
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Dangerous prison system over there, huh?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, if they're putting cops
I
in
mean,
ovens.
that was back in, I don't know how it is. It's been fucking, God, it's been a long time since I've been there now. I mean, every place that I've been as time went on, you know, every time that I went back, it seemed like as time progressed, it got softer because the security got more tightened up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, that place was horrible. I mean, I seen dudes get lit on fire for nothing. I mean, it was for something, but you know,
Over nonsense, though. That's what you mean, right?
nonsense. Yeah, yeah,
So actually lit people on fire.
yeah. Because there's not doors there. There's bars in
Yeah.
Huntington. Two separate types of bars. Ones that are diagonal and ones that are just old school, straight. And you can just, yeah.
Same thing in New York. I mean, there's a lot of cells with bars and, the old prisons like Attica and Comstock, things like that. So I've seen people throw things in people's cells and light their beds on fire, stuff like that. Man, I've
Yeah,
seen some.
they got rats as big as cats running around that bitch. And I'm not kidding.
Oh, I'm sure. So anyway, what about you, man? What's some of the worst things you've experienced in prison?
The worst things that I've experienced from in prison has been through the administration, through the correction officers. Hands down. You know, just being beat up, just fucking, coming when shaking your cell down, fucking as you're, cuffed to the fucking tier, just throwing your TV off the tier, laughing about it, taking your most prized possessions, your photos, ripping them up, just trashing your fucking cell, throwing you in the hole for nothing, just for months and months. I mean, fuck, I've been in the hole for over a year for investigation, they just because they fucking want to retaliate on you.
Yeah, let me ask you this, right? First, there's a question that I want to get back to you being in the hole, but someone had asked me to ask you this. They wanted to know if you ever felt like you just wanted to end it, man, because it was just so intense. It hurt so bad that you're just like, man, I'm just done.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. And the sad part about it, what kept me going was I wanted to get revenge.
I understand. You ever read the book The Hot House?
No.
They talk about stuff like that in there, man, where Thomas Silverstein had killed the cop, and I speak about that in my book. But he said, hey, look, these cops were being vicious, they were being nasty, and he wanted revenge, and he ended up killing them, man. That was his revenge. He killed them. And, unfortunately, he never made it out of prison. He served about 40 years in the hole in solitary confinement, man, and he died in prison. So let me ask you this. The hole, you're in there for over a year, right? Some people in New York call it the box. Some people call it the shoe. Some people call it the hole. What do they call it down there where you were at?
In Alaska, they call it the clink, the hole, seg, house one.
You're not double bunked in there, right?
Some of them you are. I refuse a cellie. I don't care if I end up in there for longer. I'm not taking a cellie. In the hole, I'm not doing it. Beat me up, fucking keep me in there longer. I'm not doing it. Because I've tried it before and fucking I always ended up beating my cellie up because people are fucking stupid.
Now let me ask you this, right? Do you feel like being in the hole for a year or over a year, did it affect you mentally, man?
Oh yes. 100%.
Tell me how.
Man, when I first started, man, it's like you have to come up with this fantasy world. Well, I did. I mean, I'm sure everybody's different. But to keep myself mentally strong, I had a little routine. I would clean my cell like ridiculously OCD, clean my cell with, whatever pair of boxers I had. And I mean, the whole, everything, right? And work out, and, I just pace back and forth, pretending that I'm walking. And in my mind, I'd just be envisioning myself walking on the street and encountering people and having a conversation with them. I'd be talking to them out loud, and I'd be like pretending that I'm on the street, like not there. You know what I'm saying?
You ever talk to yourself in there?
All the time, every day.
That's the part that people don't understand about solitary confinement, right? That how it really, really affects you, man. I mean, I spent a year in there myself.
I seen that movie where that Tom Hanks dude got stranded on that island and he made that volleyball little character or whatever. Yeah. That shit brought tears to my eyes because I know exactly how that dude felt, man. I made little fucking, I would try to fucking, like clothing exchange, you're supposed to turn in your clothes, so that you can get some back. And I would try to fucking get the mod worker to give me extra clothes so I can, make a little dummy, post them up over there, or her, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the character that I wanted to make, that's my homie right there, and we're kicking it.
So I seen that movie 2 years ago. What was the ball's name? Wilson, right?
Yeah, this one. Yep. Yeah, I've had plenty of Mr. Wilsons. That's for sure.
Didn't he scream out like Wilson?
Yeah, he's fucking like started floating away or something. Yeah, because that was
his buddy. That's all he had. And that's the thing, Toby, that people don't understand. Sometimes when you're in the hole, not sometimes, but all the time, all you really got is yourself, right? And, like you said, people that don't understand, when you get locked in a cell, go lock yourself in your bathroom. Go in there for an hour and see how that feels. Now, imagine doing that for a year. And you have to have a routine, because if you don't have a routine, you lose your mind. I would wake up first thing in the morning, work out before the breakfast trays came. In federal prison, a lot of, the holes, we have a shower in there. So, I ended up making a heavy bag out of an extra mattress that I had in there. I had tied that on there onto the shower. I'd hit the heavy bag. I'd eat my breakfast. Then I would do what you talked about. I would pace, man, back and forth. And you start talking to yourself. You start thinking about the world. You start, sometimes you imagine that maybe you're in Key West, Florida, or you're in, Panama City Beach, Florida, or in California. You really mentally take yourself out of prison. And other people would look at you and say, wow, this dude's a weird dude, man. This dude's a weirdo. But that's the only way to be able to cope. I would read. I read a lot of books in the hole. I read that Jailhouse Lawyer's Manual back to front to back, probably 5 or 6 times while I was in there over that 1 year period.
It's awesome when you can get a book or something like that, but that's another fucked up thing is the guards, they'll take they won't, a lot of times, if they don't feel like you should have a fucking book or anything or getting fed, you ain't getting it. And fuck, you might fucking go a week, 2 weeks without a shower. At least in Alaska.
That's
you know
crazy.
What I'm saying? And people back there fucking kill themselves all the time. All the time.
I had wrote some letters after our interview we did, and no responses, man. None. No responses whatsoever. I think that the way that they treat people down there is absolutely horrible. We talk about human rights violations and, all this stuff in other countries. But what about what's going on in our own country with our prisoners,
There's so many people that are like me still, that, what I'm saying? I understand we make our own choices, we pave our own path and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying fucking, I don't know, it's just so hard to fucking explain, but it's like, man, if I could have just had, the administration or PO or something to help give me a little bit of direction or believe in me or something, you know what I'm saying? Because after you keep repeating that cycle, you get worse. You get so much more angry, so much more institutionalized. You don't even know how to fucking live out here.
Yeah, this is what I think the point is that you were trying to make, is that the punishment comes from the court, not from the prison guards and the prison staff. but they feel that they have to impose punishment, man. The punishment is the sentence. They're there for custody and control, but they want to take over and they actually want to control you and disrespect you, treat you like shit. And people need to know that stuff. They need to know what the hell's going on. You know, there needs to be, you know, we see all these people marching in the street when, you know, people are killed by the police and all that. People should be marching about the way people are being treated. Because like you said, people are committing suicide in there. You know, people are being beaten there. You know, I've seen some videos on here about what's going on in, you know, prison system in Georgia and Mississippi. These things are outrageous, man. It's a danger zone, man. Mm-hmm. These places are not rehabilitating people. They're just sending people into in a gladiator dome and, hey, you get out in 2032 if you make it. We'll see you on that day.
Yeah, and there's so many people that, you know, that have nonviolent offenses, you know, that are drug cases and shit, and get hit with 10 times worse than what a fucking Chester gets. You know what I'm saying? And there they go, you know, and they come out a monster. Those places breeds fucking monsters, man.
Do you feel like solitary confinement breeded a monster in you?
Yeah, I think it did. I think it made me a whole lot worse. I think it made it very, very that much harder to fucking made me a lot more antisocial. And the more antisocial you are, I think the harder it's going to be for you to succeed out here.
Definitely understand that. But now, do you have times where it's hard to sleep at night?
Oh, yeah. Most of the time.
You're not past that yet?
No, I'm not. I wish I was, man. You know, I still have night terrors. I mean, at least 3 nights a week.
That's
at least. Cold sweats, fucking panic attacks. Can't get back to sleep. And every fucking time, it's always fucking law enforcement or correctional officers trying to kill me, trying to take my soul, and they're all that shit.
So some people missed the first video, right? Tell us why. Tell us the things that they did to you, man.
Oh, man. You mean like the dry cells and all that shit?
I mean, when they beat you, you know, when they wanted you to cut your hair, you refused. I mean, it doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out thing, but just tell the people some of the things that you experienced.
Well, I mean, in Pennsylvania, they threw me in the hole for fucking without clothes, you know, physically abusing me, fucking hit me with a water hose, bright light on 24 hours a day, radio station that is not even a station, just static blasting 24 hours a day, you know, because I wouldn't cut my fucking hair. You know, just thrown in the hole for months and months and months, you know, without any justification. You know, and when it's time to shake my cell down, you know, come in, beat you up, throw you back in there, just like that.
Just come right in and beat you up.
Yeah.
How many dudes?
3, 4.
Hard to fight back against 3 or 4 grown men. How old were you?
Oh, yeah. Early 20s.
How much did you weigh?
Shit, probably like $160.
How tall?
6 foot.
I want to give people an idea, man. You were 6 foot, 160 pounds, a little bit light. You got 4 dudes jumping on you. It's hard to win.
Fuck yeah! I couldn't have fucking beat one of them, just one of them by myself. Fucking, I'm talking these dudes hopped up on fucking steroids, big ass motherfuckers, man, just angry.
Did they handcuff you?
Yeah.
They beat you up while you were handcuffed behind your back.
Oh yeah.
So that stuff really happens in prison, right?
Yeah.
You know, some people think that that's all nonsense. They think, oh, well, you're in prison, you should just go to prison and you shouldn't get anything. Okay, cool. But should you be getting beat?
You know, and I think they did it with me also because they knew that I didn't have anybody. Like I had nobody coming to visit me, nobody calling the warden or calling the administration to check on me, be like, why isn't he getting this? Why isn't he getting that? Or no letters, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Like, Buck, who's he going to tell?
I understand. But now, you're home now, you're free, you're living a better life. You still have, from the stuff that you've been through, you still have, hard times at night, but you're married now and everything, right?
Oh yeah, man. Life is really good, man. I mean, man, my wife, she's my best friend. She brought out the best in me. She's, it's like, it's so crazy that I got tired enough to fall out of love with that old lifestyle. And at the same time, with all my anger and resentment, like to really, like 90% of my anger and resentment really is gone now. Like I never knew what peace was until now. I'm not even, I don't have no thoughts of revenge. I don't care about revenge anymore. I just want to fucking live my life. I don't care. Even at the gas station, even when people, I'll be like, okay, cool. Go ahead. You can, or wherever, you know what I'm saying? I used to get, I don't get road rage no more like I used to. It's like the longer that I'm out and the longer that I know in my heart that I'm fucking being a good motherfucker, it's like, it's bringing me more peace every day. It's crazy.
So you're getting more acclimated and things are getting easier each day.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, how'd you meet your wife, man?
I put a ad on this website called Write a Prisoner.
Yeah.
Pay $50. You can put a picture and 250 words, a little profile about whatever you want to say about yourself. And people get on the website for different reasons, want to communicate with a prisoner.
Yeah.
And she had recently gotten beaten up by some guy that she met online, and she couldn't make any sense of it,
Yeah.
So she figured she'll try to contact somebody incarcerated and see if they could give her a little insight on it. And well, it turned into her and I having instant chemistry, and she flew out to visit me, and we fell in love, and it's just so crazy, man. But
so
man,
so that stuff does work. There are success stories with that stuff.
There is. Yep. That show, Love After Lockup, they wanted us to be on that show, but my wife was like, nah, TV's all about drama, man. They're gonna make shit where there isn't shit, you know what I'm saying? Just for the drama of the TV show. I guarantee you it's not gonna be good for our relationship, so let's not do it. So we didn't.
That's what's up, man. I'm happy that you didn't, man. I'm happy that you're living your best life. Anything you want to say, man, before we close the show?
Man, I just can't say enough about, if there's anybody that's watching this or sees this that is living a way that's going to get you locked up, man, please switch it up, because I'm telling you what, man, once you get, you just don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be there.
Especially, man, in some other prisons, man. Some places they think, well, prison's all right over here. Some places they don't even realize how vicious it is. Who would ever think that Alaska has a prison system where they beat people, spray you with water, torture you?
Pennsylvania. Alaska didn't spray me with water, but the spraying water was Pennsylvania. But Alaska's, it's like a third world country out there, man. And it seems like they don't have to answer to nobody, man, on the streets or on the inside. They do what the fuck they want, and it's a nightmare, man.
And we'll beat the shit out of you at a drop of a dime.
Drop of a fucking dime. They had that warden out there. I mean, you guys, everybody can Google it. Bill Lipinskis was his name, the warden of the maximum security prison that I was out there. And he had a mindset of prison reform and rehabilitation and getting, groups and teaching people stuff and all that stuff. And you know what they did? They got him the fuck out of there. They got him out of there real quick.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
It's sad.
So, Toby, man, I want to thank you for coming on the show again, man, and sharing your experiences with these people, with the viewers. And just want people to know you heard it from Toby, man. And it's real. It's raw. These things happen. Change your life, man, because you don't want to live that life. You don't want to end up in a prison like Pennsylvania or Alaska where they're beating the shit out of you, mistreating you, feeding you trash. So, with that, man, I'm going to close the show. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.